Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's book review is Nothing But Blackened Teeth. Now, I picked this up because I saw the reviews and ratings on Amazon and Goodreads to be under 3 stars. Maybe that's changed, but the last I saw was like a month ago. A friend Erica bought it for me because we were talking about it. It was under 3 stars, or like it was on the verge of 3 stars, but what I was seeing was like 2.8. And I was like, this doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel right, doesn't look right. I was reading the reviews and people were just being ridiculous, honestly. And now I saw this happen in the fact that there's a lot of people are saying this isn't horror, or it's not a true psychological thriller for whatever reason. I think a lot of it has to do with the Japanese aspect, and people don't understand different cultures and what they think as scary or what they deem to be psychologically thrilling or dangerous, right? And that's what happened with Stephen Graham Jones in The Only Good Indians. A lot of people are saying this isn't horror, it doesn't make sense, that hunting and breaking the rules of elder land and hunting on elder land when you're not an elder would turn up to be something like Elk-Head Woman, a supernatural revenge being. I wouldn't even say demon, it's not a demon. Elk-Head Woman is the mother elk of a calf that one of the non-elder hunters killed on the reservation, elder hunting land. And if you don't know how serious that is, like you don't put effort into looking into other people's cultures, then you're like, oh, this isn't horror, it doesn't make sense. And so this is something that is similar. I'm thinking that it's similar to Nothing But Blackened Teeth, because I see a lot of, oh, it wasn't scary, and I don't understand why wives were being buried alive in this house. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so we are following 5 people, including Kat, who's the main character, and they're trying to find the best haunted house for the 2 other people in this group of 5 to marry in a haunted house that's a legit haunted house. And Kat is seeing this ghost of a buried wife, and there's said to be other buried wives that are you know, now dead and haunting the house seeking for revenge. And yeah, just things happen. I think that's pretty straightforward. I don't know why people were confused, though I saw quite a few people on Goodreads that were not understanding why that's scary. I don't, maybe they've been very desensitized. Like, I don't know, but like the concept is there. Yeah, it's just set in Japan. Okay, what can I do with other people? Nothing really, because I can't explain their thought processes either. But it was enough that it was like, yeah, the rating is very low, and I haven't seen that happen, I think, ever, actually. So that's why I was intrigued and picked up the book. Now, there were also a lot of people that were saying it was too short, but it's a novella. What do you expect? It's a novella, it's short, it's okay. And then that the author uses too many big words and metaphors and similes. Really? Now, this is something that I talked about in my previous video about authors spoon-feeding readers, and how it's the writer's fault, but also the reader's fault, because the readers are choosing books that are just way too simple, and you're really being spoon-fed the story and the character arc, as in like a character or the narrator spells out everything that's going to happen, and then it happens like that, and there's nothing else happens except exactly as it says. There might be some books where, you know, things take a plot twist or something like that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and there's no room for creativity, and there's no room for metaphors or similes, because it's so plain, it's so easy to read, that you read it, a book, you know, in this fashion, not this fashion, in the fashion of spoon feeding, that you're done in like a day or two, or less, you know, if you have that time. And that's what's really being churned out nowadays, I would say the past 10 years. So you've had a decade of people being used to very little or no big words, very little or no metaphorical language or similes or different cultural aspects of horror or psychological thrillers or fantasy, historical fiction, sci-fi. It's just plain yogurt. And people aren't understanding that not all authors write like that. Like, Cassandra does not write like that, as in very plain, very spoon-fed. So it's good that people are trying something different, but it's not good when you say the book sucks when it's probably you. Like, I think it's you. I found some good, like, similes and metaphors, but I didn't mark them. That was my fault. Before this, I went through and found some that are pretty good. Not as good as the ones that I originally found, sorry, but that's just how I work. I'm really sorry. So on page 10, have you ever cannonballed into a cold lake? The shock of an old memory is kind of like that. Every neuron singing a bright hosanna. Here we are, you forgot about us, but we didn't forget about you. Only one other person had ever said my name that way. Really brings a picture of, you know, someone is calling her name and it's just Cat. It's a name and it's also an animal. So it's like, you have, what can you do to spice up someone saying cat to this character? And I think that is a pretty good indication or description of someone saying cat, cat, because you're not hearing it like you would in a movie. So you have to be a little more descriptive, especially with a plain name. That's just my thought, though. I guess other people are disagreeing. They just want to hear cat. Cat. What's up, cat? Now on page 11, a door thumped shut and we both jumped, turned like cogs. All my grief riled somewhere else. I swear, if that moment wasn't magic, wasn't everything that is right and good, nothing else in the world is allowed to call itself beautiful. It was perfect. A Hallmark commercial in freeze frame. Autumn leaves swirling against a backdrop of beech and white cedar, god rays dripping between the bows, Faze and Talia emerging, arms looped together, eyes only for each other, smiling so hard that all I wanted to do was promise them that forever will always, eternally, unchangeably be just like this. Now that's good too, I'm just saying. I probably pronounced his name wrong. It's F-A-I-Z, but I'm trying to think phonetically, and I'm thinking Faze or Faz. This is my problem. You know that I have problem with English because of all my speech impediments. So if you're new here, I'm sorry. I don't hear certain sounds, so I just wing it at times. So apologies if anyone is named Faz. Faze. You know what? I like Faze. So I'm just gonna go with Faze, even though that's probably not it. And so that's the introduction to the engaged couple trying to find a haunted house to get married in. It's a really good introduction, and you're like, it's being set up like, oh, they're the picturesque couple. It's so gorgeous, it's beautiful, you know, but in words that aren't so plain, like, oh, it's a perfect couple. They're coming in their car, they're walking out of the car. Oh, they're just so pretty. You know, that would be more boring compared to what I just read you. And it's setting up the stereotype, or more so like in book form, the trope that the couple is always perfect. But, well, in the beginning they're always perfect, but you know by the end of the book something is going to go very wrong. But actually, I think something else that upset people with this book is that one person only died, and it was the rich guy that found and rented the house, and he is not of Japanese descent, he's white. But how many people, including white viewers, have said, why is it always that the white woman, like the finals girl that I talked about in The Only Good Indians and in a few other videos, that it's always the finals girl is always blonde, blue-eyed, college or like senior year, and she's goody two-shoe, but not in a nerdy band geek kind of way. You know what I'm talking about if you read or watch horror and psychological thrillers. So Cassandra flipped that, and there is no finals girl. 4 people survived, spoiler alert, but the one that does not survive is the rich white kid. But how many people have been saying for a long time that it needs to be someone that, you know, the person that survives has to be someone else than the finals girl that is the trope of blonde hair, blue-eyed, white, goody two-shoe. We flipped that trope, and a lot of people think it's a cliche in movies, at least. I don't, right? That's what I hear all the time. So when an author actually does it and flips the trope, the finals girl trope on its head, or like just gets rid of it, then it's a problem. Because 4 people survived, 1 person dies, the 1 person that dies is the rich white kid that's really handsome. I thought we were trying to work on doing better storytelling and flipping tropes on its head, because it's so repetitive. It is really repetitive, and I'm tired of it in movies. So maybe that's why I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, because it's different. Oh my god, like, what a concept. And that's why I really enjoyed The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, because it's different. It's not the same freaking thing over and over and over again. But here's that thing that I was talking about in my previous video. People say that they want to have something different because they're bored. I would say the majority of the time, y'all are lying, because The Only Good Indians did it, Mexican Gothic did it, Nothing But Blackened Teeth did it, and here we are. People are complaining that specifically this isn't horror. This isn't psychological thriller, whatever you all want to say. I think that you are just used to being spoon-fed really tropey, basic books. Sorry if that's mean, but when something new finally comes out, you rate it and review it and say that it's trash, and then you go and harass Cassandra, for example, because we're talking about the book, on Twitter, and just bully the crap out of Cassandra for what? Like, literally for what? Because the book sucks. It doesn't, y'all don't make sense, and that's why I'm not on Twitter. Because I can't understand the mindset at all. And that's why the past, I would say 5 years, coming on to 5 years, I don't trust Goodreads reviews and ratings, and I'm leaning towards taking a grain of salt with Amazon reviews and ratings. So honestly, if you think the summary of Nothing But Blackened Teeth is good. Read it for yourself and determine for yourself what you think about this book. And ultimately, don't even take my word for it. Just, read the book and find out for yourself. And I think the moral of the story of this review and other reviews and other discussions I've had is read the book yourself and determine what you think the book is or is not. Is it good? Is it great? Is it the best thing have you read? Is it or the worst thing you've ever read? I think it is up to you, but also remember that maybe, just maybe, that you are reading or were reading for a long time, but maybe you're switching to books that are just very cookie cutter, plain, boring tropes over and over again, and maybe this book or other books will be extremely different, and different is good. There are times where you maybe have to look critically at the book that you don't like or you're not connecting with and see what's going on there. And I do that all the time. I even do that for books that I really like, as in, why do I like this book or why do I hate this book? I think we need to do a little more critical thinking lately with books, even for entertainment. I read for entertainment all the time. Like, this was entertaining to me. I don't get scared easily, especially with books. But I'm still thinking about the characters and the writing and the character arcs. Thank you so much for watching my review on Nothing But Blackened Teeth. Have a great reading and writing day. Bye!